Hey, it's Lisa. So I wanted to come back on. I know I've been going for a while, and I wanted to just pick up with the spiritual bypass conversation. And this is a conversation where I think I am parking it, okay, for a while. So this is where I'm going to park. When you see me come on, this is what I'll be discussing, that spiritual bypass, and how we go through that when we are believers, when we integrate ourselves into having faith and believing in some higher power, some religion, some type of spirituality. We think that we're spiritual beings, all of these things, right? And we are, all of that. And all of those things are great, right? But there's a spiritual bypass that we do sometimes that does not serve us. It doesn't help us in our development. It doesn't help us in becoming the powerful people that we should be and having dominion and just being responsible and conscious and all of those things that we would need to be. Sometimes we can be so spiritual that we're limiting ourselves in a way because we're not allowing ourselves to develop and we're not incorporating the spirit in our development, right? So there's certain areas that we should be looking into. Like how are we communicating? Like what are we communicating? Not just to people, but that's one thing too, right? What are we communicating to people? But what are we communicating in the universe, right? Through our thought processes, our language, our attitudes, our belief systems. We're always communicating something, right? So there is a communication that's coming from us that is being projected out into the world around us. And sometimes we're not really aware of what we are communicating. Sometimes our communication can be coming through those layers of trauma or misunderstandings, like things that are not true, things that we've been told, assumptions that we have made, observations that we made when we didn't have all of the facts or all of the information, right? So we have this mindset, right? We have this mindset, these thought processes that are coming through us in everything that we do, right? Whether it's our esteem, how we feel about someone, how we feel about a race, how we feel about, money, whatever it is, like there is something that is being communicated through us, right? So a lot of times when we do that spiritual bypass, we're not looking at what we are communicating. We're not observing what we are communicating. So communication is a big thing when we look at spiritual bypass, right? We have to be responsible. We have to take responsibility. We have to collaborate with spirit, with the Holy Spirit, right? We have to listen to the Holy Spirit. And most spiritual people know that you have to listen to the Spirit. But quite often, there's certain things that we can't hear. We don't have ears to hear, right? Some of the things that the Spirit would say to us because we haven't developed in communication. So there's things that need to be communicated to us in regards to what we are projecting, where we are within ourselves, right? So communication is a big part of how we're participating in that spiritual bypass. So we think that we don't have to become aware of these things. We don't have to know ourselves the way we should. We don't have to recognize what we're projecting. We don't have to take responsibility of what we're thinking and the language that we're using. We want to say that, God knows our heart. Or we want to give our to-do list, the list of the things that we do, right? We do this, we give, we go to church, we go to the mosque, we go to mass, we help people, we tithe, we do this. So we want to give our to-do list, right? and that would a lot of times overshadow what we need to be mindful of, what we need to be observant of, right, when it comes to what we are communicating. And I like to say to people that we're always communicating something. So part of, what I've had to learn is to observe and become responsible for what I am communicating, right? To reflect on what I'm communicating. What have I communicated, right? What are my thoughts? What am I communicating to myself and to the world around me in reflection of money, my career, where I want to go, my ambitions, my desires, my dreams? Am I telling myself that I can't have certain things, I can't do certain things, right? Is that something that is resonating within me? Do I feel challenged? Can I have a conversation about something without feeling attacked? Or can I feel like just to talk about something means that I'm being attacked, or it's an argument? These are ways that we communicate. We communicate by what comes through us. And a lot of times we are not aware of it. We're not aware that we're triggered, right? And things that should just be a conversation becomes a matter of dispute or argument or disagreement, or it gets way out of proportion. So things like this happen. And a lot of times we don't investigate, we don't reflect, we don't determine that there's a change that needs to happen in us, right? That we need to redirect, that we need to release, let go, get over, attitudes, mindsets, ways of thinking, right? And how we are communicating these things. So communication is a big, big thing. And I do have a lot more in-depth things that I would want to go into with communication that I believe will help people to locate themselves and understand what's coming through them and why they may be getting some of the results that they get, right? And so I want to invite you that if you are interested in learning more about communication, that you reach out to me at my email address, heyislisa@gmail.com. And I'll send you some information talking about communication, and it'll be a gift to you. And I think that it's not just information, okay? Because sometimes we can have the information, but can we embody it? Can we embody, right? Can we incorporate, let it flow through us, let it shift us, and then show up differently, react differently, feel differently. That's what happens when we embody something, right? We show up differently, we respond differently, we react differently, we feel different, okay, about any given thing that is happening. When we begin to embody something, it could be a sickness, right? When we embody that we are well and healed individuals and that we get it from our source and our God and that we can do anything, right? So if we get a sickness or we feel sick, we'll say, oh no. We'll embody that and say, oh, this has got to go. This is not going to last. This is not going to stay. I feel good. And then we actually feel good, right? Or do we run for the medicine? And I'm not judging that. But what are you embodying? And can you embody something better? Okay, so rather than resorting to that spiritual bypass and doing things that does not serve us, let's be in better communication. The email address is heyislisa@gmail.com.